So the next thing we'll do here is maybe get started on the vents on the hood. So let's just grab all the pieces of the truck here, and we'll just hide that. Alright, let's maybe go into the top view here. Let's zoom in on the hood. Okay, we'll use a combination probably of the left and top views to model this. It's going to be a little off in the front view here again, so we'll just maybe use the two of them. Alright, let's maybe start this with a box. So grab one of those, we'll just draw it out over top here. And we'll figure out the size in a second. Let's just move it up. Okay, so let's put it around here, and let's put our material on that. Alright, we'll start with something around this size, and we don't need any segments, we'll just add those manually later. So let's convert to editable poly. And let's also maybe rotate it a bit here in the left view. And we'll move it up a bit more. Okay, I'm just going to line up the front here. And don't worry if it's perfect. Something like that should work fine. Okay, so let's go to vertex here. I'm going to grab the bottom verts, we'll just line that up a little bit better with the corner. And let's maybe grab these front two, and we'll just angle this in a bit. Alright, let's grab the bottom pairs of verts, and we'll just make this a little bit thicker. And we'll also grab the two top right verts here, and let's give it a little bit of a slope. Okay, let's maybe bring this back one here down a bit. Okay, we'll kind of line it up with the blueprints, and I'm not really going to worry about following them exactly here. We'll just kind of wing this. Okay, I'm just going to move that up. Okay, we can also probably get rid of the front and bottom polygons, so we'll just delete those out. Okay, let's grab the bottom vert here, and we'll just move this over in the top view. I'm just going to move that up a bit. And we'll grab the back corner there at the bottom and just slightly move it out in the top view. Okay. And we obviously need to curve the back over a bit here to round it out, so let's add a couple of segments down the center. Let's grab those edges there and do a connect. And let's maybe do 4 segments. Hit OK to that. We'll go back into vertex here and just grab the 8 verts at the back there and just pull them back on the Y. Okay, we'll also make sure that we have them the right height here, so I'm just going to move them back up. And then we'll grab the center 4 and just move them back a little bit more until it rounds out. Oops. Okay, so that's basically the shape we're looking for. We need to add some more detail. And we also want to give it a little bit of a curve on the side so it's not so flat. Okay, so let's go back into edge, grab all the edges here, And let's connect that up again. And let's use 4 segments with no pinch, no slide. Okay, and then we'll go back into vertex. I'm just going to grab the verts along the right side here. Okay, we'll just slightly move these out. Okay, just a bit, doesn't have to be a lot. And then we'll just grab the 4 in the center here and move them out a little bit more. Alright, just so it's got a little bit of roundness to it. Just move these bottom ones here out a little bit. Okay, we also want to have a little bit of a curve on the top here so it's not perfectly flat. So let's do that. Let's maybe add a FFD. Okay, I'm just going to grab this vert here at the front first. Let's actually just grab these verts here. Okay, those are all the ones on this side. And we're just going to move those back a little bit and kind of line the edges up. Okay, I'm just trying to line up the front there. Okay, I'll move these ones back a little bit. Let's keep things a little bit more straight. Okay, so now we can add the FFD, but let's maybe add a turbo smooth first. Let's do 2 iterations, a nice line. Okay, and let's put maybe a 4x4 FFD on here. So I'm going to drop back down to edit poly. We'll go into the modifier list here. We'll go down to FFD 4x4, click that, and then we'll expand that down to control points, and we'll just grab the control points here, these 2 and these 2. Okay, now we can just move this up and I'll kind of curve out the top for us a bit. Maybe just a little bit more. So maybe grab these ones at the back here. I'm just going to slightly move these down. Oh, okay, don't worry if it lines up perfectly here. That's not a big deal. Okay, I think that's pretty much what we want. So let's turn off the control points here. And we'll just right click on the FFD modifier and go to collapse 2. Hit hold yes. And I'll get rid of it from the stack. Okay, and let's turn off turbo smooth for a second. We also want to add some thickness to the front here. So let's just go into the back view and we'll drop back down into edge. And let's just grab the 4 edges or 5 edges along the front. Okay, we'll just shift drag this down on the Y. Okay, something like that should be good. Let's grab this one here at the front and we'll shift drag that over about the same distance. And finally the left side there, let's shift drag that edge in. And you can also do this by extruding the edge if you want, but this way is just as fast. Okay, so now we'll go to vertex. Let's grab this one here, smooth that down on an angle, and we'll grab this one here and move it over. Okay, and then we can just target weld those 2 together. Okay, turn off target weld and just make sure that's lined up so everything's even. And we'll do the exact same thing over here. Target weld this one to this one and just move that around until it's kind of even. Okay, and for the bottom here, we'll just kind of straighten this out. And something like that should work fine. Alright, so I'm just going to hide the blueprints here. Just so it's a little bit faster in the viewport, and we'll just add the rest of the detail. And we want to sharpen up this edge here a little bit, so let's go back to edge, grab an edge here, and let's also grab an edge here. Do a ring on those, and we'll just do a connect. And we don't want to make it too sharp, so let's maybe leave it just in the center. Hit OK to that. We also need one along the front here, so I'm just going to ring this edge and connect that up. And for this one, we'll slide it up a bit, maybe about -35. And okay. We'll also do one along the top here, so ring that edge and connect, and slide that down a bit. -85 or so should be good. Okay, and we also need to have a little bit of a curve in this section, so let's grab an edge over here, ring that, and we'll just do a connect. And let's do this one right in the center. We'll just leave that 0. Okay, let's go to vertex. And we'll see if we can select some of these verts here. So I'm just going to go into the back view and grab a couple of these verts here on the side, all the way up to the back corner. And we'll just kind of push this out in the top view a little bit to give it a little bit more curve. Okay, so just bring it out a bit. Don't need a lot. Okay, we'll deselect that back vert there and just slightly move the rest of them out. And let's keep working our way to the front. Okay, that gives us a little bit of a curve there. Okay, so we'll see how it looks. Let's turn back on the Turbo Smooth. And that looks looking pretty good right now. And as you can see, the back is pretty soft, and that's kind of what we want. We don't want it to be too sharp here. Let's maybe add one segment just through this section here. Let's do a ring on that and a connect maybe, and we'll do that right in the center. I don't want to slide it too far down, else it's going to sharpen us up too much. Okay, so just one segment. And that should be pretty good. Let's just go to the top view here. Let's get out of edge here and turn our Turbo Smooth back on. Okay, and we'll just maybe nudge this corner in a little bit more. So let's go back to vertex, turn on show on result here. And we'll just grab the 3 verts there on the corner and just kind of soften it up a little bit more. Okay, so just move them in. Do the same thing with these 3 here maybe. Okay, so that looks pretty good. That should take care of the top part of the vent, and we still have another piece that it sits on that actually goes into the hood, so we'll start working on that next. And actually, before we move on to the other piece, there's one more thing we need to do here that I forgot about, and that's give the inside some polygons in case we see in here. As you can see, it's just open. Okay, so we'll go over and we'll turn off the Turbo Smooth again, and let's drop back down to edge. Let's grab one of these front edges here and loop it. Okay, and we'll go into the left view. Let's go to wireframe F3, and we'll just shift drag these edges back on the inside. Okay, we'll take it back maybe to about there. We don't need to go all the way, we'll just go in something like that. Okay, and then in the back view here, I'll just get a control click vertex, and we'll just deselect these few on the left side here. Okay, so we have a few selected right from here down to the end, and we'll just push those over maybe a little bit to the outside. Okay, I want to kind of follow the thickness of this all the way to the back. Okay, that should be fine. So let's maybe add a support edge on the inside here. So we'll do connect on those edges and just use one segment, we'll slide to the front. And we'll go pretty close to the outside. Let's do maybe 97 or so. And okay, and we'll add one more here on the front. Let's connect that up, and for this one we'll just do one segment, no pinch, no slide. And okay. And we'll see if that looks okay. Okay, and we don't need to do anything else on the bottom here. That's going to be hidden by the hood. Okay, so that should work fine. And now we'll move on to the bottom piece. Okay, so let's maybe just rotate this a bit so it's a little bit more flat. Make it a little easier to model the base. And so we'll kind of straighten that out. It doesn't have to be perfect. And let's go into top view here. And we'll create this bottom piece out of a plane. Okay, so I'm just going to drag one out over top here. And we'll get rid of those segments. And don't worry about the size, we'll just do this by hand. Okay, so we'll put that down to editable poly. Okay, let's also actually move it up in the left view so it's underneath. Maybe about there. Okay, I want to kind of shape this plane to kind of match the outside perimeter of the vent. So let's maybe move this vert here in. Let's move this one out. Okay, we kind of want to have an even space around the entire outside. Okay, so we're going to need to add some more segments down here, so let's grab those edges. And let's do maybe 4 segments, and okay. I'm also going to just turn off the turbo smooth on the vent piece, so you can see where the edges are actually at. And we'll just move these out one at a time to kind of follow the edges on the vent. Okay, we also need some edges side to side here. So let's maybe connect that up with 4 segments as well. And we'll just shape out the right side here to kind of match the curve. So I'm going to push this one in a little bit more. And let's bring these ones out. And we'll push this in a bit more. Okay, so that looks pretty even. The next thing we'll do here is maybe just shift drag the outer border down to give it some thickness. Okay, so grab that border and let's pull it down. Something like that should be good. And now we'll just add some support edges. So let's maybe go back to edge and just ring this edge here. And connect that up with 1 segment. Slide that towards the front. Let's do maybe -80. Okay, we'll do the same thing at the back here. And for each side. Okay, we'll take that down a little bit more. Let's do about 78 or so. And same thing over here. Okay, and one around the side edges as well. And we'll take it down just a little bit. We'll leave this one pretty close to the top edge, about 64 or something. Should be good. Okay, and let's go to polygon here. And we'll go into the top view. And let's grab maybe the 9 polygons in the center here. Okay, just these ones. All right, and we'll do maybe an inset on these first. We're going to need to punch this down and through the hood. Okay, so we'll add a support edge here by doing an inset. And let's do that maybe about 1, and okay. And then we'll go into the back view and we'll just extrude these polygons down. Okay, the amount really doesn't matter, just get it down like that. And okay, and then we can delete those polygons off at the bottom. Okay, so we have kind of a tunnel in there. And we need to add one support edge here on the inside, so let's ring those edges and connect them up. Slide this one up to the top. And 95 or 96 should be good. Okay, and let's smooth it out. Let's maybe actually turn the turbo smooth on the vent first, back on. And then we'll just add a turbo smooth to this bottom piece with 2 iterations. Okay, now I'll give us that vent hole in the inside there. Okay, we want to soften up these 2 corners here at the back. You can see those are way too sharp compared to the vent. Okay, so what we need to do is actually move those support edges a little bit farther apart so that it softens the corners. So let's maybe drop back down into vertex here. We'll zoom in here on the bottom or the back right corner and just grab these verts. Okay, the 4 of them here. Let's also maybe turn on edge constraint. Okay, and we'll also turn on show and result. And we're just going to move these verts up to space them out. Okay, so just drag those up, and as you can see, the corners getting a little bit more soft as we move those. So we'll grab the ones right here and move them this way. Okay, we'll fix this in a second. Just get a little bit more smoothed out. And let's grab these ones on this side and do the exact same thing. Push these up. And move these ones in a bit. Okay, just until that corner rounds out. And as you can see, we have a bit of a kink right there, so let's turn off the edge constraint. And we'll just pull this out a bit to kind of get rid of that kink. Maybe a little bit more. And same thing over here. Okay, and then we'll grab the corner one there and just kind of even the curve out on each side. Okay, so that better matches the vent curve, which is what we want. Okay, so I think that looks decent. Let's go back into the left view here. I'm just going to grab both pieces and do a group on them. Let's call it vent. And okay. And then we need to rotate this obviously back into position. So let's just right click here, we'll unhide all. Okay, and we'll just rotate this back to the position we had it. Okay, it's going to take a little finessing to actually match the hood here, so let's rotate it back. Maybe something like that. It's going to go on the top view, and we'll rotate it to the left here a bit, as well as a little bit more forward. Okay, so we kind of want to have an even space around the outside. Let's actually move it up a little bit more as well. Okay, we want to just have it sitting on there. Alright, so just make sure that there's no gaps underneath. Alright, so that looks pretty even. And if you're having trouble getting it into position, you can also use an FFD to manipulate it a bit. And you can just drop that right on top of the group here. If you do a 2x2 and drop it back into control points, you can just grab them here and move it up and down until it fits against the hood. And you can do that for all the corners. Okay, but we don't really need to do that. So let's undo. Okay. Alright, now we need to actually cut a hole through the hood. So let's grab the body here. We'll take off the turbo smooth. Okay. And we're going to need to add a couple of additional edges running up towards the windshield. Alright, so we'll drop back down into edge. Let's go into the top view as well. Just going to go to wireframe here. We'll grab one of these hood edges and ring it. Let's do a connect. And you can kind of see where the hole for the vent is there. Let me just ring that edge again and connect it. So we'll just slide this over until it's just on the outside of it. right about there, and make sure that it's still underneath the actual bottom of the vent. Okay, we don't want to see any holes from the outside, so hit OK to that. Let's add another one right here. Slide that the opposite way, maybe about there, and OK. And then we can go in there and grab these 2 polygons. Okay, just check to make sure that you don't have any sticking out, so you can't see any red from the outside. Alright, we just want to have it on the inside there underneath, so we'll delete those out now. Okay, so we can see down that hole, and we'll just go up here and turn back on Turbo Smooth and see if it looks okay. Okay, so no holes on the outside, and if you have any, just move the edge loops in a little bit closer to the inside until you can't see any sticking out. Okay, you can see here, because we added that edge loop, the gap is a little bit uneven here now. We have it higher at this side than we do at this corner. Okay, so let's reselect the vent. And we'll just drop the FFD back on here. Okay, a 2x2. And drop into control points there. And we'll just grab that top one on the right or left side there and just move it up until we even out the gap. Maybe a little bit more down. Doesn't need to be too thick. Let's actually move these 2 down as well. Just a bit. Okay, and maybe just this front one a little bit more. Alright, just until you get that evened out all the way around. And that looks pretty good right there. Alright, so let's just go into the top view here. And with the group selected for the vent, let's center the pivot point. Okay, and then we'll also right click the X spinner here to zero that out. Turn off the button there, and we'll just do a mirror. That's a copy on the X to get the other vent. Okay, and because we still have the symmetry on the body, we also have the hole cut in on that side as well. Okay, so I think we're looking pretty good here. And we'll just keep moving on to the rest of the pieces that make up the cab section.